Hello everyone and a warm welcome. My name is Simon from the studyabroadportal.com and I'll be hosting today's webinar brought to you by Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore from Milan. Today's webinar has the title Cattolica's Masters of Science in Management in Milan, Your Bridge to the World of Work. And of course, today you'll hear more about the program, about the reasons to choose Milan as a city and Cattolica as a university in order to specialize in management, that is. You will also hear how Cattolica's Faculty of Economics has developed the program in response to the current and future global needs in the sector. We will also hear from a keynote speaker from a leading company in the industry that advises students to pursue in terms of study and research. I think that's a very important key point to have. And then lastly, the much needed information regarding the entry requirements, application procedure, costs, and scholarships will also be discussed. Following the presentation from our lovely three panelists that you'll meet in just a moment will be an interactive Q&A session. Yes, even though we are in an on-demand webinar, that means that you, our esteemed on-demand viewers, can still submit questions, and you can do so by typing it in the box called the Q&A, which you should be able to find below me. Now, please keep in mind that we will address a few predetermined questions today that were pre-submitted, a few questions that are beneficial to most of you. Whereas for your specific questions, if we can't address the topics or the questions themselves in today's session, please do rest assured. All of your queries will be forwarded on to the staff and or faculty members of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, who in turn will get back to you, providing you with the much needed information. Now, before we introduce the presenters, one last word of attention. I would like you guys to pay attention. That is the window called the resource list. A lot of useful information has been provided to you via that channel as well, and I would urge you guys to take the advantage of the platform and do use it to your best advantage. Now, I believe that you have heard enough from me. It is now time to connect to Milano, where it's time to meet the three panelists. Allow me to bring us side by side, and they say ladies go first. Therefore, firstly, I would like to introduce Aisha Patak, the International Recruitment Senior Officer. Greetings, Aisha.
Greetings, Simon.
Pleasure having you in. And also, very important, two gentlemen sitting next to you. I would like to introduce Stefano Baraldi, the Masters of Science of Management Course Director. Greetings, Stefano.
Hi, Simon. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure having you in, Stefano, as well. And as promised, an expert from the industry, Ezio Frenian, from the Comau Academy. Apologies, Ezio is the Comau Academy Director and HR Training Manager. Greetings, Ezio.
Hi, Simon, and thanks for the invitation to this seminar.
Thank you to all three for already taking the time. Now, I'm sure that the audience would, in fact, prefer to hear more from you. Therefore, Aisha, Ezio, and Stefano, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Simon. And hello, or ciao, as we say in Italy, to all of you following us today. So, who are we? Who's speaking to you? Simon's giving you a quick preview. I'm just going to go through this, adding some useful information. My name is Aisha. I am an international senior recruitment officer, and me and my team will be the first people you get in touch with if you decide to submit your questions, if you decide to submit your application, and hopefully when you actually come and enroll here, we'll be there to welcome you. So that's our role. I do have on my right the program director, Stefano Baraldi, and trust me, I am so happy and relieved that he's going to be describing the program rather than myself, because there's so many Masters of Science of Management in the world with this title, yet there's something so different about each one, and I think there's no better person than you, Professor, to actually explain if this course could be the best fit for our students. And last but definitely not least, and it's a great privilege to be speaking to you today, Ezio Frenian, as he is such a leading person in the industry, being the director of Comau Academy. But actually, I think you will be explaining that in detail, what exactly that is in first place. And in fact, we're going to start with you. Straight up, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
So, Comau is a leader in the industrial automation industry, centered so heavily on robotics. Yet, you are an HR director of Comau Academy, which is the schooling unit of the company, in which all energies are invested in training people. So, I mean, you're defining their managerial skills. So can you share your thoughts on why students should be studying management at a postgraduate level, despite all the innovation and technological evolution that is happening?
Okay, thanks for the question. I will try to answer saying that study management is so important for us because the company needs not just technological skills, but also and mainly managerial skills. What about Comau? Comau is a robotics and industrial automation leader worldwide. We are roughly 19 people around the world. We are present in 14 countries, in 32 locations, and our revenues are about 1.5 billion euro. We are a cutting-edge technology company, but our main asset is not technology. Our main asset are people. And in order to deal together with people and with technology, we need expert on management and expert in management, because it's not so simple to put together these two dimensions, technology, people, and project. We are a project-based company. Our customers are the main manufacturing companies such as Jaguar Land Rover, Ford, General Motors, Tesla. And they are really interested in technology, but they are really interested in to achieve project results. That means cost, quality, and time. And so we need people that are able to manage properly project, people, and technology, achieving challenging results in a few time. We already brought a book called Project and People Management, published by McGraw-Hill, in order to stress this concept. We need students that, after attaining a very innovative Master of Science like this, will be able to manage properly people, to improve the engagement and the execution of the people, but at the same time that will be able to manage properly the project. This is the challenging. And I think that managerial skills are the key success factor to succeed in the future.
Wow, that certainly explained it and intrigued me as well. You've mentioned a couple of numbers that Comau is such a multinational with just a strong presence globally, right? And I think you mentioned that you have 14 countries in which you're present in some shape or form. Since we're talking to an international audience, I think this question is particularly exciting for them. Are there any particular geographical areas in which Comau has identified as potential hubs to invest in?
Yes, for sure. Two interesting areas are US, United States, because they will carry on, and they are carrying on the investment and the activity in the manufacturing district, but also Asia with a special focus on China. And so US and China, but for a company that want to succeed in the global business, that want to play a global game, it's necessary to have such kind of innovation hub, not just in these two areas, but also in Latin, in EMEA. And thinking to the students that are attending this master, what is important is to have the right students with an international mindset. That it's not so easy. Let me do an example. Okay, we are working for Tesla in China, but the customer is an American customer, and we are preparing the plant for China, where the worker will be Chinese. The technology will come from UK and from India, and the invoicing from Poland. As you can see, it's not a matter of having a special innovation hub in such area, but the challenge is to put together different culture in order to play the role of global leader in a global business. And in order to do this, what is necessary for our students? I'm happy to be here because Catholic University students has this kind of global mindset, is to be able to catch and to learn the best from different culture. What does it mean? If there is something interesting from the German culture, there is something interesting in the American culture, but also in the Italian culture, in the Latin culture, in the German, but also in the Romanian, in the French, and in the Brazilian. So the challenge is try try to avoid the risk to say, okay, our culture is the best and we will win. No, the challenge is trying to be the bridge between different culture to play this global role and to succeed in the business.
I completely agree. That's our career, trying to get different bridges built between different countries. But we've got to start breaking it down. We've got to have a starting point. And this is where I actually turn to the professor and ask, I mean, we've talked so much about different nationalities, different countries and global presence, and the managerial skills needed to work in the global workplace. But professor, why do you feel Milano, which is where we are teaching this, this course, is the ideal location to study management?
Thank you, Isha, for the question. I think it's not a difficult one. Let's say that from a business perspective, we can say that Milan has a long-standing history since the Romans arrived in the 6th century BC and called it Mediolanum, which means in the midst of plains, basically. Milan gained a strategic position in the north of Italy and, broadly speaking, in Europe with regard to the commercial relationships and exchanges. And if we look at today, the city of Milan provides the highest contribution to the national GDP with the lowest unemployment rate, is home to the Italian Stock Exchange, and is the undisputed economic capital of the country, as well as a world-famous city brand for fashion, design, finance, and so on. So, hosted in the Catholicas campus, which is located at the very heart of the city, all the UCSC students, on the one hand, are literally embraced by this business environment consisting of a network of multinational companies, local small and medium enterprises, and also a bunch of startups. On the other hand, let me say that students may enjoy being in the best Italian city for the students, according to the QS ranking, a city full of cultural opportunities coming from events, sports, theaters, cuisines, museums, and so on. So,
to contribute to their cultural IQ other than just their academic, cultural intelligence and not just an academic one. Well, you've certainly given us a good idea of why Milano to study management. And I think this sort of leads me on to just give you a quick idea about Cattolica. And there's so much I could say about it. It is the largest private university in Europe. So there's no shortage of points to say. But what I did want to make absolutely clear is that even though we have 5 campuses across the country, it is this fact that Cattolica always tries to teach what is relevant to the territory, according to a link between subject and territory. And I think this program management in Milan is specifically, taught here for this particular reasons, as opposed to any other campus as well. And actually building on very nicely to what Mr. Fregnan said, which is about nationalities and having that international dimension in class. Cattolica has strong diversity of nationality as opposed to quantity of international students. So when you do join the Masters of Science in Management, it is a very realistic expectation to be surrounded by someone coming from different continents. There is obviously a very large presence of Italians, as there should be as well, otherwise sort of defeats the purpose of coming to Italy and to discover what the working culture is like and what the traditional sense of culture is. But you will get that international dimensions as well. We have over 100 nationalities across the university as well. And then building on to the rankings, so Professor mentions the quality of life that is Milano, but I'm going to go a little more specific in terms of the university itself. Okay, there's obviously this huge cluster of universities in Milan itself, but 2 interesting things about Cattolica. First of all, in the QS subject rankings, we are 175 in social sciences and management, and that's, of course, with the management program. Okay, so there's an academic recognition there internationally of the quality of the program. And then I think having here a company, endorse Cattolica is just one evident proof of the next ranking, which is that we are #1 in the whole country for employer-student connections with the QS employability ranking. And you're definitely very proud of it. I know you've done a lot of work with companies, and we'll see that in just a few seconds. I'm certainly very proud of it when I'm going around the world, because we all know that, of course, employability is such a buzzword right now for our postgraduate students as well. So now I think we should talk a little bit more about the program, because this is obviously the key focus here. Professor, can you give us a brief description of the Faculty of Economics and explain how this Master of Science in Management is innovative in its structure?
Okay, I will try to do my best. So the School of Economics was founded in 1947 and boasts a faculty of more than 150 professors and researchers. It offers 7 bachelor and 10 master programs to more than 9,000 students in 2 campuses in Milan and Rome. So the Master of Science in Management is one of the 10 master programs offered by the School of Economics, entirely taught in English. I will start by saying that it is a 2-year general management program aimed at getting a good balance between strong analytical foundations and real-world application, basically. Not more than 100 students are admitted every year to this program, which is extensively based on active teaching methods. I think that one of the main features of the program has to do with the opportunity for students to customize their own study experience, gaining specific knowledge. As you can see in this slide, in the first year of the program, students are encouraged to choose among more than 30 courses and combine them according to their interests and ambitions, specializing their skills on a number of different profiles. So, for example, a profile in accounting and finance, marketing and strategy, human resources, and so on. At the same time, students are encouraged to build up their international profile, as Ezio underlined before, by taking a full advantage of a wide range of international opportunities, such as summer programs, international scholarships, semester abroad programs, and 2 double degrees with the Boston University and the University of Western Australia. If we move on second year, year 2, at the beginning of year 2, all the students are sorted into 5 business labs, namely consulting companies, multinational enterprises, luxury and fashion, small and medium enterprises, and healthcare organizations. We introduced business lab in this program for a twofold reason. On the one hand, to give students the opportunity to gain a thorough understanding of a specific business settings and learn how to be a good manager in different kinds of business organization, either an hospital or a consulting company. On the other hand, to give the students the opportunity to put theory into practice by working day by day, side by side with a group of leading companies like Comau, and gain in this way a practical experience. Hence, as you can see, at least 3 leading companies act as partners in each lab. And you can see here the companies our students are these days working with this year, ranging from EY in the consulting company lab, to Louis Vuitton in the luxury and fashion lab, from Salumificio Beretta in the small and medium enterprises lab, to Luxottica, and of course, Comau in the multinational and enterprises lab. As I said, not more than 20 students are admitted into each lab, so to promote an active learning, a stimulating teamwork, and a close interaction with both professors and the partnering companies. But how this interaction with company practically works, I would leave it the chance to have Ezio here with us to see the practice of a business lab with your own eyes. Comau has been partnering with the Master of Science in Management since the inception of the program in 2015.
I think so.
So therefore, we can say that every year, 20 of our students have been taught by your managers during classes held on site, company visits in your plants or in your academy as well. Every year, 20 students have been commissioned by Comau on their ability to deliver group assignments on different subjects, such as finding a new target for a new product line, devising specific strategy for engaging customers, attracting and recruiting top talent, and so on. And by the way, this year, your assignment was focused on the main trends on compensation and benefits in order to attract and engage employees. Every year, students are selected for a 3-month internship in Comau's different functions, such as digital transformation, planning and control, IT, human resources, corporate marketing, and so forth. And finally, every year, students have been organized in team responsible for delivering a 3-month consulting project commissioned by Comau on current issue of concern. Last year, the field project was about understanding how the proposal and the business model of a new robot of yours, named
Edo, that is going very well in the market. Thanks also to your contribution.
Should be built in a new market, which is education, to be competitive and effective. So in this way, I think that business labs actually act as a, let's say, a springboard for students in order to prepare their thesis, their final thesis, to graduate and eventually entering in the labor market.
Yes, and if I may, the contribution coming from the Catholic University was really interesting, not just from the contribution coming from the students, but also from the support of the tutors, because the challenge was so heavy also for us, and so it was necessary to involve not just the students, but a team made by professor, tutor, and the student together to answer this kind of business challenge.
And I can say this is also challenging for the professor.
Mutual challenges.
Yes. And we were so proud because we were able not just to share culture and to teach to these students some lesson, but also to learn from them. And so this was an exchange. And so young generation are really great if they want and if they are supported by experts. And so the result of this field project was so interesting because of the exchange of knowledge that was between us and them.
A productive reciprocal learning then, in that case.
Yeah.
Well, then you've clearly got a long-standing tradition of hosting students, Cattolica students, in your company. So from a more, let's say, general perspective, not just in terms of that specific field project, but generally, what, from a company point of view, what characteristics should a student have to start a career in a company of your caliber?
We have a receipt of 7 capabilities that are key to succeed in our complex environment. The first one is agility. What does it mean, agility? It means to be able to set up some requirements, to do a proof of concept, a prototype, and to be ready quickly to test it with the customer, being ready to change the requirements. And this is fundamental when you don't know what to do and how to do. For instance, we did an exoskeleton. It was our first time. We weren't able to know what to do. And so it was fundamental to express this agile approach that is fundamental in every kind of business. The second driver for us, the second capability for us, really important, is deal with technology. Industry 4.0, digital transformation are providing us great technology, easy to use. And a young generation coming from Catholic University must be able to leverage on the power of this technology. But it is not just a matter of technology. It's also a matter of people. And so we are looking for students that are able to interact with people, not just with machines. What does it mean? It means to be able to understand the real nature of human being. That means to be able to interact with different stakeholders, customers, bosses, colleagues, teammates, and this is not so simple. External suppliers, being part of an ecosystem where there are technology and people. It's really important for us to be able to promote innovation, for sure, but Also, let me say, to be able to put together different disciplines. We don't need any more autistic engineer that hate to deal with people, and we don't need any more HR, finance that say, okay, technology, no, it's not my duty, it's a matter of technician. No, this is not the future, this is the past. We need the students able to put together science and art, technology and ergonomics, physics and biology.
The hard and the soft.
The hard and the soft skill, right, Stefano? And so be able to create, to connect the dot about disciplines, but the sixth capability is about collaboration. Connect the dot not just between and among disciplines, but also between and among people. We are an open company, and so it's mandatory to be able to interact with customers, with suppliers, with university, because they're going to part of the value chain of the company. And I want to conclude with the seventh capability that for us is probably the most important, that is engagement. Because it's talk about the fact that the students must put in their job not just their mind, but also their heart. In order to succeed in the complexity of the actual business environment, we need people that are all involved in this adventure.
I'm feeling a little envious of our students because you're making me want to go back and start doing management career.
You are welcome. You can apply. You are welcome.
It's really, I mean, I think you really transmitted, you know, all the core values, and we're trying our best, I think, Professor, to give them a sort of bedding, you know, a nurturing to go and do that. So it's all very exciting, at least from my end. It sounds pretty exciting. Okay, well now I think hopefully we've excited and we've motivated and we've inspired our students, but they need to know the more key details of how to even join us in the first place. So in terms of entry requirements, I'm just going to say that we have resources. You have resources on your on the screen, so feel free to find all the more boring but absolutely essential details about how to join us. Use those resource links. But just to give you a very quick idea, you do need a bachelor degree in a relevant subject, okay? So something like economics or management or business. If you have studied something very different, we can still consider the application as long as you have 4 out of 5 subjects, okay? And you see those on screen. In terms of the English language proficiency, because it is 100% taught in English, unless you've studied entirely in English or are coming from an English-speaking country, we do need, for example, an IELTS of 6 overall or a TOEFL of 83 overall. You need to apply online, so it's nice and easy, no paper documents to start DHLing all around the world. So you simply scan and upload a series of documents. You do this through our website. And we do have a couple of deadlines, all right? So you need to make careful attention of those deadlines. Obviously, the sooner the better, not just in terms of getting feedback and preparing your life here, but also for those of you that need a visa, sooner you start, as I said, you know, this more time to get organized as well. In terms of costs, we calculate tuition fees based on where you are currently paying taxes, hence where you reside. So if you are living in a non-EU country and paying taxes there, you will have a flat fee per year of 8,500 euros. The university does have a generous merit-based scholarship system, which reduces the tuition fee to 5,750, and the application for the scholarship is nothing separate. It is automatically considered as part of your application for the academic program. And as opposed to those of you, for example, who are in the European Union currently living, it will go according to your family income. So you've got a minimum of just under 4,000 euros to a maximum of just under 9,000 euros, and you will be able to apply for financial aid once you arrive here as well. In terms of living costs, you probably want to consider about 10,000 to 12,000 euros a year as well. All right, that's pretty much us done here, Simon. So I would leave it back to you. I know you have a couple of questions for us. And for the rest of you, these are these contact details. So do make sure you, absolutely anything that comes to mind, you fire away your questions and we can start your application process going.
Thank you, Aisha. Stefano and Ezio for this lovely and dynamic presentation. I'm sure that the audience members have enjoyed it, but now let's see if we can help them by answering a few questions. But for our audience members, you can submit as many questions as you'd like. Please do take advantage. And now to kick things off in today's Q&A, let's see with the first question being, it is admissions process related. Aisha, can they submit their diploma after the application deadline?
Yes, absolutely. If you are currently studying in your final year, then you may submit you have to submit your transcripts up until this stage, and we'll give you a conditional offer based on the fact that, of course, you pass your degree, your final degree. The important thing is to have your degree before summer, and certainly if you need to apply for a visa, you need to get that done before a very specific period of time, which starts in the summer. So, but the admission, rest assured, the admission office, it's their job to give you the full details. So you are not alone in the dynamics of the application procedure. We will be telling you exactly what is the deadline, and it is already on the website as well. But yes, absolutely, final year students, please submit your application.
Thank you very much, Aisha, for answering our first question. And with the first question out of the way in the Q&A, we also have the first of two polling questions for our on-demand viewers. With the first one, we would like to know, how useful did you find this webinar in understanding if this degree program is suitable to your academic profile and career ambitions? Very much, a little bit, but you still have some doubts, or perhaps not at all. The submit button is there to finalize the answers, and your feedback would be greatly appreciated. Now, moving back to our next Q&A question. Today, we are in what's called an online open day. If they would like to see you in person, do you organize any open days, or is it possible to get a campus tour?
Right. I certainly recommend all students that are particularly interested, and I know some of you are coming from very far away, so I understand it's not exactly easy to jump on a plane and cross the globe. But if any of you have the opportunity to come visit, it is the best way. More than brochures, more than us talking to you, to come and feel the campus vibe on your skin and to experience it. That is certainly something I recommend. So we don't do open days as such yet for international students, but we do a very personalized service of campus tours. So all you need to do is get in touch with the office and let us know when you're planning to come, and we will try and do our best to have you tour with one of our students. Yes.
Yes, in fact, if you are ever in Milan, do give Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore a visit. Like Aisha just explained, they would be more than happy to have you there. Okay, now let's move on to our second and last polling question. In order to conclude this segment, we would like to know if our audience members are planning to get in touch with Cattolica to find out more information. Yes, no, perhaps, maybe. Those are the options listed. And we have one more question in today's Q&A. Yes, I believe Stefano as well as Ezio and you as well, Aisha, have convinced our audience members, not only our audience members, but Aisha and myself too, if we would like to get in touch with any enrolled students of the program to get more information. Is there a way to do so?
Absolutely. Sure, absolutely encourage it. And we do have quite a few international students, and it's over 2 years as well. So some may be in first year, some may be in second year, some may have already been finished and probably working. In fact, with your very high graduate employment rate, I'm pretty sure they're all working. So what you need to do is get in touch again with the office. You know, maybe I'll ask you what country you're from, trying to make it, you know, for you to talk to someone a little more familiar to you, and just, you know, ask your questions and say you want to talk to a student, and we will definitely do our best to find someone, ask their permission for privacy reasons, that they can, you know, be a student ambassador. And since we have a bunch of very friendly students, I'm sure they'll say yes, and we'll put you in touch there, and we'll exchange your contact information.
Thank you very much. And with this, we are now wrapping up today's short but very informative webinar info session. Allow me to also conclude our polling segment. Hopefully you've given us the answers, and bring up the appropriate contact information slide in order to firstly thank our on-demand viewers. Now, I'm sure that this session was more than informative, and I sure hope that some of you are seriously, though, considering to apply to the program that is the Masters of Science in Management offered by Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore from Milan. Wishing you the best of luck with the application process. Of course, hoping you guys get admitted. Wishing you the best of luck with your future study endeavors. That might be at Comau Academy as well, one of our keynote speakers. Yes, speaking of which, it is time to thank Ezio Frenian, Aisha Patak and Stefano Baraldi. Thank you, gentlemen, and Aisha, so much for taking the time today, for sharing the expertise. Would you happen to have any last-minute closing comments before we say goodbye?
A personal thank you from me to these two gentlemen, because I know they're very, 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 very busy, and they've taken the time out this morning to come and talk to us and to share and to enlighten myself, not just students. So a personal thank you from all the team as well.
And we look forward to meeting you in Milan as soon as you can.
Absolutely.
See you in Milan.
All right. Thank you. Grazie again, as we say in Italian, and ciao ciao.
Thank you, grazie a tutti. And this is Simon, your host, signing off by wishing you, could be a good morning, a good afternoon, or who knows, maybe even a good evening from wherever you may be. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.